All right, good morning, guys, or good evening. So, in our last session, we have discussed about EC2 instance types and where you can find, and then we discussed EC2 instance isolation diagram. So, any questions on previous session?
Yes, Avinash. Uh, can I ask you now?
Yeah.
Okay. So, Avinash, you said in case of dedicated instance, right?
Yeah.
Uh, we get a dedicated hardware,
Yes.
right? In both the cases, right? So, if Amazon maintains different servers of different sizes, uh, in case of dedicated instance, if I'm choosing T2 small, T2 large,
Yes.
so, I mean, there would be hundreds of requests for such small size servers, right? So, I mean, if they use same hardware and they somehow manage dedicated instance using one single box, there are hundreds of boxes with different sizes over
See, every data center is going to contain, millions of the servers,
there. Hmm.
not just hundreds or thousands. So, based on client requirement, if they are opting for dedicated hardware, yes, they will provide dedicated hardware, as well
Hmm.
as dedicated hardware cost is going to be very, very high.
That is in both the cases, right? Dedicated instance and dedicated host.
Yes, host is more high configured one, right?
Yes, yes.
So in that case, if you want to observe that, it's like, whenever you navigate to this page, there now you know what is dedicated. Just go to reserved instances. So here tenancy, I'm going to select default. That is nothing but a shared tenancy. So let me go and pick one configuration, R5D large, and offering class. I want to go with the standard payment. I'm going with the all upfront term for a 1 year term. Search. See here, the cost is $778. We need to pay for the default tenancy. That means shared tenancy. The same hardware, if we go with the dedicated tenancy, see the cost is increasing. So whenever you are picking dedicated, the cost is going to increase. Why? Because the underlying hardware they are not going to share with any other customer. So as you are selecting dedicated, as they are costing more, they are going to fulfill their requirement. What their requirement, they want to gain some money out of it as they are sharing dedicatedly with you. They are fulfilling their requirement. If you have any compliance requirement, then only we go and choose. Otherwise, we don't go and choose that, right?
Yeah. See. I've got one more questions, right? So while doing the schedule instance, right? While configuring a schedule instance, you went to the North Virginia region, right? Then you were able to see that,
Yeah.
right? But while choosing the region over there, you chose Asia Pacific South region.
Hmm.
So if the actual instance is getting spinned up in Asia Pacific South region, then why we are specifically going into North Virginia region for getting such an instance?
Okay. I have a question. So you created your AWS account.
Yes, yes.
So have you tried to perform it?
Uh,
Just navigating between console, right?
mhm.
Just navigate in the console. So if you navigate to Northern Virginia only, then only you can find that scheduled resort instances.
Yeah,
Here, do we have, I'm in Mumbai. Do we have? No. Why? Because that specific feature is available only in Northern Virginia. See, here you can find scheduled instances. So now I'm in Northern Virginia. That
yeah,
feature is
that
in
is fine.
Northern
I'm
Virginia.
asking what is the reason why even the instance is getting up in Asia Pacific region, why Amazon is not giving in
I
or
need to
in.
check with AWS when they are going to
Okay.
introduce this feature in Mumbai.
Uh-huh.
Why? Because
Would you
all
mind,
services
Avinash? Let me
are not
answer for
available
that
in
because
Northern Indians.
I
Yeah.
live in that area.
Okay.
Sorry.
So Swaraj, to answer your question, it is more secure area. It's a federal government controls this eastern United States. So
No, no, no.
Amazon has a huge
That's
data centers in this place.
I'll justify. Um, you know, so first thing, whenever Amazon want to introduce any new service, they will starting from Northern Virginia. So that's their prime area, prime location first thing, and the data center count also, like availability zone count is 6.
Mhm.
And from long time, it's just not like from almost like a 4 years onwards, that scheduled resort instances is there in Northern Virginia, but not in other regions. Most of the regions it's not available. So that's in hand of Amazon Web Services.
Okay.
Whenever they want to, yes. If you join to Slack channel, you can do one thing. There is a group called AWS Updates. So
Yeah.
go here, join to this AWS Updates channel, and you will get updates related to that. For example, see, Amazon Aurora Global Database expands availability to Sao Paulo or Stockholm region. Till yesterday, this is not available. Why? I don't know. Amazon started expanding their infrastructure to this region. So similarly, whenever Amazon want to, like they might introduce that similar updates you can find. So every day we are going to get a lot of updates and lot of new services is going to add. So here you observe. So see, Amazon EC2 D3 instances with SSD storage is now available in Singapore, Sydney and Tokyo. Why it is not available till yesterday? EC2 instance is there in Mumbai. Why it is not available in in Mumbai till yesterday? I don't have an answer for that.
Okay, so there are all of features, not globally, just reason by reason, right? That's okay.
Yes, exactly. That I clearly mentioned in our last session.
Okay. Okay. Can I ask one more, right?
Yeah.
So we were talking about the VMAC license, right? So that was based upon the underlying hardware, right? You chose the option of
Yes.
sockets, and so you said we can use it for dedicated host, right? So why we cannot use it for dedicated instance when we are getting a separate hardware in case of dedicated instances?
Separate hardware you will get, but you won't get visibility to that hardware if you are selecting instance.
So
So
how is that
think of
different? Yeah.
so technically you're going to get this whenever you purchase dedicated instance.
Mhm.
Okay. Whenever you purchase dedicated host, you can contact AWS and AWS will apply whatever the license you want to apply at this physical layer. But the same feature is not available here. So if you purchase dedicated instance, if you contact AWS to apply a license on this, no, they won't. So where you can apply whatever the one you can apply at OS level. You can install, you can apply, but not on the hardware level. If you want to apply on hardware level, we don't get access to this, and you need to contact AWS.
Okay,
And if
so
we have two status checks. That's today's topic actually.
okay.
If you are facing any issue related to this, yes, we can do somehow we can troubleshoot. But if anything happened at this physical layer, we just have only one option: start and stop.
So what is EC2 instance sharing, right? When we say EC2 instance dedicated. So whenever we create an EC2 instance, is that getting created? Isn't it a dedicated instance or is it a shared instance?
What
I
option
mean,
you're selecting under tenant?
if I'm creating a on-demand EC2 instance,
Okay.
so that comes under which category?
What option we are selecting while launching under tenancy?
Uh, let's say if I have chosen shared, right? Mm, Then in that case,
Then
I
it is
mean,
going to share the underlying hardware.
so that is going to be shared among the users that I have in my account, or what?
See, it is allocated to your account.
Yes.
So you know what exactly this C1, C2, CN?
No, that I wanted to ask, right? What is
Go
customer
through
one,
go
customer?
through previous session video. Go through previous session video. This is customer 1 instance, customer 2 instance, customer n instance. This is,
Okay.
you are the only one customer. So this is your EC2 instance. The hardware is going to share with another AWS account users, not your own user or not your own AWS account users.
If
Multiple AWS accounts is going to share same hardware.
yeah,
Get
that is
it?
hardware level, it is fine. But if the instance is also getting shared somewhere,
No.
no. Yeah, that is fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions, guys?
So I did a quick Google search on the Northern Virginia piece. It says Seattle and Northern Virginia are one of their test markets for new features.
Exactly.
So
Okay.
Yes. So Amazon have basically huge resource, and whenever they want to introduce any new service, they will introduce in Northern Virginia only. So that's why you can find a lot of new instance types and all, compared to this Mumbai or any other region. So whatever the lab I'm going to perform, either I'll choose Mumbai region or Northern Virginia region. So the reason, the Mumbai region is very near to me. So when I'm trying to get connected to the server and all, I'm not going to get much latencies. And this Northern Virginia, so it's a kind of test region also for AWS. It's a huge, so if I want to test anything, I'll prefer to go with. And this eases my monitoring thing also. For example, so basically this EC2 is a region specific service, guys. EC2 is a region specific service. So that means you launched a server in Mumbai. You can share it for across the global users. There is no issue to access from anywhere. But you can find that server whenever you are in Mumbai region only. For example, if you see, I have two key pairs and I have 10 security groups in this Mumbai region. If I switch to Northern Virginia, can I see all these 10 security groups? For example, these are the security groups ELBSG, MySQLSG, App1SG. So these are the security groups I have only in Mumbai. If I switch to Northern Virginia, we won't find those. We have only 5 security groups and something like, launch wizard 1, launch wizard 2 and all. So similarly, you launch the server and you have that server here and you forgot to terminate that server. So what happened? You suddenly switch to different region. And what you assume, okay, here you don't have any servers, but in Northern Virginia, one of the server is running. So that might consume your free tier limitation also. So to not get into such type of issues, I'm going to launch all my resource in Mumbai region and Northern Virginia region. You guys also stick to a couple of regions. Of course, you can launch instance in any of the region. There is no limitation like that. Until unless you want to go and launch in US GOV cloud or China region. So there you need to sign up and then only you can launch. Otherwise, in remaining all regions, you can launch. So go and stick to couple of regions. So that's the reason. If when I'm signing out, I can see this dashboard. Okay, I don't have any running instances. I don't have any stopped or terminated instances. Then no load balancers. Then I can easily monitor those things, right? So that is the reason I'm going with these two regions always. Okay, so so here in our today's session, we are going to launch our first EC2 instance. The first couple of sessions, that means today and tomorrow, we are going to concentrate on EC2 instance launch and connectivity process. Again, we are not going to discuss each and every option now. What are the options required to launch an EC2 instance, that we will discuss. About storage, about security groups. Okay, we will discuss day after tomorrow about storages and security groups. So today I'm just going to pick whatever we require. So please don't raise any question related to security groups. and volumes today. Okay. So here I've logged into my EC2 dashboard, right? So I don't have any instances and all, but I have some key pairs. Let me do one thing. Let me delete this. So why? Because in your account also you will have all zeros and all, but I launched some EC2 instances earlier. That's why I have this. And let me delete the security groups also. Whenever you logged into your AWS account for the first time and navigate to EC2, you can find only one security group. That is a default security group. So default security group, we don't use. That's a defaultly, it open all the traffic and all. So we really don't use the default security group. Okay. So let's leave the default security group. I have two VPCs. That's why I have two default security groups. Forget about it at moment. Right. So all zeros and you will have only one security group here. Right. So now click on launch instance. So whenever you're trying to launch an EC2 instance, so step one, we need to choose an AMI. So AMI stands for Amazon Machine Image. So in simple, this option you need to choose the operating system. So you can find only server class operating systems here. Server class operating system means like, basically we have server class and client class. Client class means Windows 7, Windows 10, those options. Like, Windows XP, Ubuntu client, those comes under client class operating system. So for that, we have another service called AWS Workspace. There you can find Windows 10, Windows 7 and all, but not here. So EC2 supports only server class operating systems. Okay, so we need to choose the operating system. And if you perform any customizations or if you want to purchase any software from AWS Marketplace, that also you can do from here. So we have some quick start. That means, most frequently used or highest used ones, Amazon automatically add to this quick start. Okay. So if you go to my AMIs, here you will get customized AMIs. After 3 to 4 sessions later, we will come to this topic that your customized AMI or whatever the one you upload to AWS, that you will get it here. AWS Marketplace. So basically Marketplace is a place where some sellers will sell their applications. For example, I need an operating system and that operating system must have a specific standard. See, if we go to this quick start and if you're trying to find Kali Linux, is it available? No, it's not available here. But whenever you go to Marketplace and whenever you search for Kali Linux, here you can see Kali Linux is there. So this is not made it available by AWS. Who made it? This is by Kali Linux. See, Kali Linux registered as a seller in AWS Marketplace and they're selling it. So they are going to give it a free tier under free tier eligibility. But some organizations see, for example, if you're taking any other, I want to get an operating system with CIS benchmarks. So some operating system we won't get under free tier limitation. If you have this free tier eligible, you won't get charged by anything by that seller. If you don't have this label, yes, you need to pay for that operating system also. So this is a OS you want to. Who is sold in this? It is sold by Kali Linux. But whenever you go to quick start and all, so basically whatever the one you have here, Amazon gives this. Amazon actually gives this. You don't need to go to marketplace and you don't need to purchase that applications. Community AMIs based on operating system and all, Amazon made what OS structure it contains and what platform it contains. It will give all those based on architecture also we can. So As an initial thing, go to quick start, select free tier only. So whenever you select this free tier only, it shows only free tier eligible EC2 instances. It shows only free tier eligible EC2 instance. That means you won't get charged anything. So Amazon Linux, Red Hat, Ubuntu, SUSE Linux. So today I am going to show you how to launch a Windows instance and how to launch it. So I'm searching with Windows. We have Windows Server 2019, 2004, 2016, 16 base containers, 2012 R2 base. So I'm going to choose Windows Server 2016 base. The process is going to be same. So total 7 steps involved. Whatever operating system you are going to choose, these 7 steps are going to be same. Okay, so click on Windows Server 2016 base. So step 1 is completed. So we have chosen an operating system. Then step 2. So here we need to choose the instance type. So based on our requirement, like, we have different configurations is available and different instance families available. So based on our requirement, we need to choose this. So first one, like, we have like, some categories. Let me go with that categories first. So we have general purpose instances. You won't find these things in the console. Here you won't find anything like, related to general purpose and all. So, but based on the the categories only, we are going to choose it. The first one is a general purpose. So general purpose EC2 instances will gives balance. It gives balance performance of compute, memory, and networking resources. You can expect balanced performance, and we use this widely. We use this for wide use cases. So we have some types for this general purpose. So all T type instances, either it is a T2 or a T3. So basically, Amazon started with T2. If they added any new feature, performance improvements and all, they released new generation 1 T3. After T3, they released T3A also, right? So similarly, T and M categories basically comes into this. So M4 and M5, M5A, M6 also recently introduced. Couple of minutes back, I've shown that, like, EC2 instance introduced such type of notification. I got day before yesterday. M6G instance also recently introduced, and A1. So if you find any of these EC2 instance, okay, you just assume these all instances designed to give balanced performance. So we can expect balanced performance from the CPU, memory, networking. So those are the general purpose instances. We have compute optimized also. Compute optimized instances. So in this compute optimized instance, basically we can expect, we will get, or it is optimized for compute bound applications that requires high performance processors. See, in simple, this gives good CPU performance. You have an application and that application required more CPU utilization. More CPU utilized resources required this type. So compute optimized. So compute starts with C, CPU performance also C, that's also come to C only. So all C type instances will come to this compute optimized. So C4, C5, C5N, C6G. These also recently introduced, the C6G. So all C categories will comes under this compute optimized. So whenever you go here, see, if you go here, these all C5, C5A, like C5A extra large, 2 extra large, the configuration is going to be double. So extra large, 2 extra large, 16 CPUs and 32 gigs of the RAM. So these are the ones. So compute optimized. Similarly, we have memory optimized. So memory optimized means we can expect more RAM performance. In simple, memory optimized instances basically large data sets in memory. So to process large data set via memory. In simple, more memory consumed application required this type of instances. You deployed an EC2, you deployed an application within your EC2 instance. That application is going to consume more RAM. Then go and choose this category. So as it is memory is nothing but RAM, right? More RAM capacity. So R category instances. So we have R4, R5, R5N, and R6G. This category also newly introduced. And we have two more categories, X1 category. So X1 is like, highest configuration once in our AWS environment. X1, X1E, and Z1. So Z and X, these two categories, like, highest configuration once. So whenever you go here, searching for the X1, see here, the RAM capacity, observe, 976 GB RAM, 1952 GB RAM, 120 gigs of the RAM. Like, the RAM capacity is more with this. This Z1 category also, the RAM capacity is going to be more. So X and Z also comes under memory optimized. Right. So then we have GPU instances, or we call it as the category is accelerated computing. So in simple, more graphic processing applications, or if application requires hardware acceleration and all, then we are going to choose this. So this category is now, we are going to call it as a GPU instances, graphical processing units instances. So when coming to this, so I have a very simple mechanism. So basically accelerator or more graphic. So recent times the game I can remember is PUBG. So P and G category. So whenever we see P category, like, P4, P3, P2, and G3, G4 categories, and F1 also. F1, like, the mechanism I remembered is like, Formula 1, that is also highest, like, high speed, across these vehicles, right? So for this PUBG and this one Formula 1, this is the mechanism I used to remember. Right. So that is for accelerated computing. So we are going to get more graphic utilization and all. So then another one is storage optimized. So storage is nothing but hard disk, the disk. And how we are going to measure the performance? By using IOPS per, like, these hard disks. So storage means SD or SSD. So I remembered, like, SDD. So H category. So we can expect, like, this is designed for take more high sequential data writing to the storage. So if you are expecting high performance from the storage resources, like, in simple, highest hard disk performance, we can go and choose this. So it gives more IO performance So IOPS, technically we call it as IOPS, input output operations per second. So it calls as a input output operations per second. IOPS, right? Highest IOPS. So we can expect more IOPS from the storage for this particular category. See, won't we get IOPS for this? Yes, you will get. Won't we get IOPS for this? Of course you will get. Won't we get more RAM capacity from here? So these are designed to give best CPU performance, best memory performance, best GPU. But you are going to have all the resources. You are going to have storage here. You are going to have a storage here also. You are going to have memory here. Like, the which area is accelerated, that we need to choose. So the mechanism I remembered is SDD. So H1 category, D, D2, D3, D3EN category, and we have I3 category. So the mechanism I remembered, this is a IOPS, so I category, first thing. And disk storage is nothing but disk, so we go with the D category. So this is a mechanism I remembered. And 90% of the times we go and choose this general purpose instances that give stable performance across all the resources as a first thing, and compute optimized. For example, if you want to, like, if you take this Windows 10 operating system, I want to monitor the performance of this. So initially I can take this, like, general purpose. Later on we can change this type at any time, guys. There is no limitation and all. So at any time you can upgrade or you can downgrade or you can change the instant type also. No dependency and all. Only you just need to take proper downtime and stop instance and change it. No OS level modifications also required. Right. So go here, choose T2 micro. Why? Because that is the only one comes under free tier eligibility. So any questions on this step 2? Choose T2 micro. Why? Because this is only comes under free tier eligibility. Okay. Don't select any other categories, guys. We are good with this configuration. 95, 99% of the times we are going to use only T2 micro. So at organizational level, we really don't care about this. We are going to choose different configurations. And in your interview, if someone raise any question, okay, what is a common instant type you used in your organization or in your current project and all? If you get that question, don't answer it as a T2 micro. I've seen a couple of guys when I took some interviews, so they immediately answered, okay, T2 micro. Why? Because you're going to habituate with T2 micro throughout this course. In interview, when someone asked this question, okay, immediately you answer it as a T2 micro, right? Why? Because that's in your mind. So please don't answer it as a T2 micro. So I'll give some configurations. T3 extra large. So keep this T3 extra large in mind. So that comes with 2 CPUs and 16 gigs of the RAM capacity. So it comes with 4 virtual CPUs and 16 gigs of the RAM capacity, and C5 extra large. C5 extra large comes with 4 CPUs and 8 gigs of the capacity. 4 CPUs. It's not a physical CPU, guys. It's a virtual CPU. Who made that as a virtual resource? Xen hypervisor or Nitro hypervisor did that. So C5 extra large. So that is another common one we use, and another one M4 large. So just remember these 3 types. So in your interview, instead of T2 micro, mention any of these two. So most commonly we use these category. If they ask you why, you know the answer. My application is going to consume more CPU, so that's why we choose. My application is going to consume more RAM, and we are expecting stable performance. That's why we are selecting this. So remember these three configurations for your interview purpose, but don't use it here while practicing, right? So I'm going and selecting T2 micro, then click on next. Now, number of instances required. I'm going with only one instance. I'm not going to select anything related to networking. So go with the default VPC. We have a dedicated module for that networking part. Okay. So I'm not going to select any other option except this shutdown behavior. Shutdown behavior is set to stop. So in step 3, choose additional options. In step 3, choose additional options, and here I'm selecting only shutdown behavior. I'm going to set it as a stop. That is a one thing. And another thing, enable termination protection. I'm going to enable this. So I'll tell you, I'll show you output of this. Enable termination protection. Protect against accidental termination. If someone trying to terminate that instance accidentally, this will protect our EC2 instance. Leave about remaining options. We have a dedicated session on this, dedicated session on this, and dedicated session on this. So please don't come up with question related to that. So shutdown behavior, stop termination protection, protect against accidental termination. Only two options I selected here. So then click on next. So then step 4, choose a storage. We have a dedicated session on the storage also. So at moment, as it is a Windows instance, it required 30 gigs. It required 30 gigs. Go and give that 30 gigs. And don't change anything here. Whatever the one you are going to get, general purpose SSD, go with the same one. Don't select any other things. Okay, leave it. Don't worry about the screen now. Then click on next. Tags. Step 5, add tags. So here maximum 50 tags we can add. So tags we already discussed in our S3 module. Tag is nothing but a combination of key and value pair. Whatever the metadata you want to give to this EC2 instance, you can give that. Okay. And some of the common tags for our EC2 instances I'm listing below. So the name we always give for what application you are creating, and application tag is another one, and cost center tag to monitor the pricing for this project and all. And we have platform tag. So this platform tag is like, we always use for our EC2 instances. Either it is a Windows or Linux. For example, you got a patch for all the Windows EC2 instances. Suddenly some security issue came. You want to patch, you want to update your Windows operating system with one of the application or software. So how you are going to filter out of the 100? By using this tag only. If you don't, you launched a Windows instance, but you didn't like added a Windows tag, that won't comes under that particular scenario. So tag is mandatory, and tags only we are going to use to filter. For example, we have a project 1, and for that project you have a code. So you can use this code and you can analyze the pricing, your estimated pricing for that project. So you're going to give application and name. You can give anything like, this is your Windows instance or Linux instance, or you can give anything. So I'm going to add a name tag, my first Windows instance, or I'm going to give just Windows instance. If you want to add another tag, go here. What tag you want to give? Application tag, Apex. I'm going to give it as platform. This is a Windows instance, right? So similarly, we are going to give a lot of tags for this. Then click on right. Then click on next. And here we need to choose this security group. So this is not a mandatory step, it's an optional step, but better to add some tags. You will get habituated with it. Nothing more than that. So then step 6. So configure the security groups. So basically we are launching an EC2 instance. We are launching an EC2 instance. That EC2 instance is going to run somewhere else in the AWS environment. I'm sitting somewhere else in the Hyderabad location. I want to get connected to it. So we need an entry point to that operating system, right? So that entry point should be opened. So basically take any of the operating system. Take any of the operating system. We are going to have a protocol 0 to 65,535 protocols, or every protocol have a port number. So total 65,535 port numbers are there. So every port designed to deliver one service and all. So now we are launching a Windows instance. We are launching Windows instance. So Windows instance is going to you have a Windows server running in remote location. You want to get connected to it. So for that purpose, we are going to use a protocol. That protocol name is RDP, Remote Desktop Protocol. That protocol is going to work on port number 3389. So if you take Windows instance, this is a fixed. If you want to change this, yes, you need to change OS level modifications, or you need to design your own operating system. Okay, so for Windows, port number 3389. If it is a Linux instance, for Linux, we are going to use SSH, Secure Shell. This SSH is going to run on port number 22. And you have a website that want to deliver from your web server. So as it is a web server, so web server, so the protocol is HTTP. The port number is 80. Secured web server, secured over HTTP, yes, security over HTTP, hypertext transfer protocol secured. So that is going to run on port number 443. Similarly, you have MS SQL database. So MS SQL database, Microsoft SQL database is going to run on port number 1433. MySQL port number is going to run on 3306. So these are some common port numbers we use. Okay. And root 53, DNS is going to work on 53. DNS is going to work on port number 53. So now this is my Windows instance. I want to get connected to it. So Windows port number must be open. If we don't open this Windows port number, there is no option to get connected to your EC2 instance. See, if I don't open this, see this warning. You will not be able to connect to this instance, as this operating system required 3389 to be open in order to have access. Your current security group don't have 3389. So that's the reason it won't. So now I'm going to create a new security group. I'm going to call it as Windows SG, Windows Security Group. All Windows works on port number 3389 only. So I went here, I searched for RDP and 3389 got picked here. Now, from what network you want to get connected, that we can set it as a source. We can give custom an IP address or give anywhere, or my IP. Only whoever sitting in this particular network, only those guys can get connected to this server. So at moment, I'm not going to deep dive into this security group. So I'm going to give anywhere. I'm giving anywhere, right? So it's giving a little warning. So, you are allowing for all IP addresses for this. So it's better to open only known IP address. That is okay. Ignore that warning at moment. So I'm opening 3389 for everyone. Everyone means 0.0.0.0/0. Where exactly you are, what network you're using, what subnet you're using, that doesn't matter. If you have valid username, valid password, then you can get connected to the server. So that is what the mechanism I am opening now. RDP 3389. I am giving anywhere. This is for IPv6::/0. This is for IPv4. Don't worry about that. Just simply select anywhere, go to review page, right? So whenever you're not able to get connected to your EC2 instance, your troubleshooting should always start from this security group verification only. Okay. So for example, if I give my IP, tomorrow I don't have a clarity that my ISP is going to give same IP address or not. Okay. So we need to verify that. But at organizational level, that IP address is going to be fixed. So at that time, we gave just my IP address and all, but here just go with the anywhere. Then click on review. So this is a review. If you're getting 2 warnings that your instance won't comes under free eligibility and all, just inspect your settings. See here, I'm not getting anything. I'm getting this little warning just because of my security group is open for everyone. Just because of that. Windows SG is open to the world. I really don't have any issue at moment, right? So then you can review, then click on launch. Now, whenever you're trying to launch, so this will ask us to create a key pair. So basically this key pair works with the public key and private key mechanism. So step 7, review, launch instance with a key pair. Launch instance with a key pair. So basically here, the key pair mechanism, AWS is going to have the public key. AWS holds the public key. AWS copies that public key to the EC2 instance. We will get the private key. We will get the private key. Okay, so that private key need to be browsed against like our EC2 instance public key. If both are matching, then we will get the password. I'll show you. We will get the private key. If we want to connect to the instance, we need to browse the private key against the public key, which is stored by AWS. Then we will get the password. We can use that password to get connected for the first time. After that, you can change that and you can use a custom password and all. Right. So the key format is .pem format. The private key will be in .pem format. Right. So now, see, if you want to choose an existing key, we don't have any key pairs. So we need to create a key pair. If you click on create a new key pair, then here is a key pair name. What key pair name you want to give? You have to download the private key file before you continue. Store it in a secured and accessible location. You cannot be able to download the file again after it got created. So I'm going to select create a new private key and I'm going to give AWS 730 KP. I'm just giving a name. You can give any name. You can give your own name and all. So I'm going to download this key pair and it got downloaded to my local machine. So this file format is a .pem. So that is a private key. So we have downloaded the private key and Amazon is going to have the public key. So if you are selecting proceed without a key pair, so don't do that. That we will discuss later. So if you are selecting that option, there is no option to get connected to your EC2 instance. So download the key pair. Choose an existing key pair, AWS 730 KP, and I'm launching instance. So I already downloaded it, right? So if I pick this option, it is not allowing me. So choose an existing key pair. So 730, then launch instance. So I'm going to store all my key pairs into a folder. I have that habit. I'm going to cut and I'm going to paste it to this particular location. Okay, so this is a key pair AWS 730 kp.pem is a PEM file. Okay, so now this 7th step also completed. Now click on Now scroll down, click on view instances. So here is the EC2 instance and it's in pending state. So basically, if it is a Windows instance, we need to wait for some time, approximately 4 minutes. And how to get connected to this Windows instance? So to connect to this Windows instance, we are going to use an option called remote desktop connection. So you can open that application multiple ways. Go to run, give MSTSC Microsoft Service Terminal, Microsoft Terminal Service Console. Give MSTSC, then click on enter. You will get remote desktop window. Remote desktop connection window. One option. Otherwise, see this. Go to run. Windows are opening the run, giving MSTSC. Click on enter. So now remote desktop connection window came. Here we need to give the public IP address or public DNS of our EC2 instance. Then click on connect. This is one option. Another option. Go to start and search for remote desktop. Go to start, search for remote desktop. You can find this app, open that. So same window is opening. You can give your instance public IP address or public DNS here. Third option, select your EC2 instance. Click on connect. Select your EC2 instance and click on connect. Then navigate to remote connect. So I've selected my EC2 instance, clicking on connect. Then select RDP client. Then select RDP client. And there we have an option, download remote desktop file. So click on the download remote desktop file. A file got downloaded. Select download remote desktop file and open it. So whenever you open it, it is going to pick the advantage with this third option, right? So it is going to pick username and password automatically. Click on connect and see here, it picked the username as administrator, it picked the instance IP address, and it is waiting for the password. So here in the same screen, see this password, get password option is there. So any option is fine for us. So I was very habituated with this Windows R MSTSC. So here we need to give the public IP address. For our EC2 instance, we are going to get a public IP address. This gives the uniqueness across the internet. So no resource, no website is going to contain this. So grab the instance public IP address, give that here. I have given my instance public IP address. Click on connect. So then it is asking for the username and password. See, this is the first time we are connecting. We don't know what is username and password. For that, click on connect. Select your EC2 instance. Click on connect. Go to RDP client. So the username is administrator. Click on this copy, paste it here. Then the password, see, get password option is there. Click on get password. AWS 730KP. We have this. Click on browse. Now where exactly you stored your key pair? I stored it on my desktop under key pairs folder. In your case, it might be in downloads also. So I'm selecting AWS 730kp.pem. Open. So here is the key pair got browsed. It is going to be verified. For example, if I am giving wrong key pair, I'm giving peering.pem. So I have given peering.pem, but this EC2 instance is associated with AWS 730kp. When I'm trying to decrypt the password, see it is giving an error. Ensure that you have entered your private key correctly. So within this EC2 instance, we have a public key that need to be validated. So make sure you browse the valid one. Then decrypt the password. See here, we got the password. So this is a password for my EC2 instance I have copied, then I'm going to paste it here. Then click on OK. Now a small little warning, like, this is like, certificate error. No issues with this, just click on yes. Give yes, and we will get connected to our EC2 instance. See, this is my EC2 instance. From a remote location, I'm connecting by using an option called remote desktop connection. We got connected to this EC2 instance. So after connecting to your EC2 instance, you can do whatever you want, like, installing IIS, or like, storing any data, or designing or deploying your application and delivering that. We can do whatever we want. So OS level operations we will discuss. Our concentration is mainly on connecting to our EC2 instance in today's session. So we got connected. Now I want to show you two options. While launching our EC2 instance in step 3, we selected a couple of options. Shutdown behavior, that is a stop. See, at console level, I'm not performing anything. My EC2 instance is in running state. So, but before that, I'll do one thing. I'm going to copy some data. So I'm copying some data here to my EC2 instance. Copy and paste, as both are Windows machines. It's not yet ready. Oh, come on. Okay, I think I need to take, while taking MSTSC, local resource, clipboard is added. That should allow us to perform copy and paste. So the machine is, basically these machines are going to be a bit slow. Why? Because we are using, like, this machine with only 1 gigs of the RAM capacity. So, okay, so let's assume you created some, like, files. Basically, I want to show some couple of settings. So I'll do one thing. Okay. All right, I did some customization here, guys. I set up my custom wallpaper. Okay, fine. You perform some modifications on your EC2 instance and all. And what happens if you terminated your EC2 instance? What happened if you terminate your EC2? What happened if you shut down your EC2 instance from OS level? Shutdown behavior. So, what should happen to your EC2 instance if you initiate shutdown from OS level? So that is what this shutdown behavior option, right? So now I'm navigating to this EC2 instance and I'm going to start and here shutdown. So when I'm shutting down this EC2 instance from operating system level, what should happen in console level? Can you try Control C and Control V? I tried that. It might take some time as we already added local resource. Okay. So shutdown behavior, I have, like, initiated shutdown from operating system level. See here, my instance is in running state. Give a refresh. Wait for a minute or two. Give a refresh. This instance is going to change its state to stopped state. Why? Because we have given shutdown behavior as a stop. If you gave shutdown behavior as a terminate, it is going to delete completely. The EC2 instance is going to delete completely. So if you want to find the screenshot of this EC2 instance, you can go to actions, you can scroll down this bit, we can navigate to actions, monitoring and troubleshoot, get instance screenshot. It gives, okay, here you can find instances shutting down. Okay, so instance is shutting down. Then once it got shut down, here it is going to change the status to stopped state. Okay, whenever instance is in stopped state, what you can do, you can start the EC2 instance again. So if you're stopping, you can start at any point of time. You can start the EC2 instance at any point of time. So that's the first thing. And if you terminated your EC2 instance, there is no option to start it. Terminate means you are deleting it completely. You are deleting it completely. So let's take a scenario. You're working on a project. So project configuration 50% completed in an EC2 instance. So then you're going for a vacation for 1 month. Okay. So now, do I need to, as I did not completed the configuration to keep that always up and running. I did only first 50% of the configuration. I want to continue once I back from vacation, and I'm the only one who is going to work on. I cannot give that work to someone. So now, do I need to keep that instance in running state for coming 1 month? No one is going to work on that. But if you're keeping your EC2 instance in running state, yes, you are going to get charged for that. So what you can do, you can keep your EC2 instance, you can put your EC2 instance in stopped state, right? So whenever you kept your EC2 instance in stopped state, so that instance will be in stopped state. Once you back from the vacation, so what you can do, you can just like, start the EC2 instance and you can start working on that. You won't lose any data. So in that scenario, using stop and start best works for us. So you done with a server, you no longer require that server. So you want to delete that server from your AWS account. In that case, we are going to terminate that instance. We are going to terminate that particular EC2 instance, right? So, okay, if you're using Mac operating system, remote desktop tool for Mac, you need to download and install this from App Store, Microsoft Remote Desktop in Mac App Store. So the process is going to be same. Install this in your MacBook. So the window you're going to get like this. So then what you need to do, you need to go here. Come on, seems instance have any issues. Status check instances check failed. All right, so let me do one thing. Let me reboot this. Okay, so you need to download this tool first. After downloading, so you can just get connected similar way. You need to open that. You need to browse the key pair. So then, you will get the password by using the same username and password. You can get connected to it. So we are restarting. It might be take a minute or two. Let's wait for a minute. So here some status checks are failing. I'll talk about that. So any questions on this launching and connecting to this EC2 instance, guys? So if you initiate shutdown from operating system level, it should stop. So, but here I am facing some issue. I'll show you, I'll inspect. Yeah, now it is okay. 2x2 status checks got passed and we can get connected to this instance and we can stop. See here, I'm stopping this EC2 instance. Now, instance is stopping. Just remember when a status check failure happened, I verified one thing. What status check? This left side status check or right side? Instance status check got failed. I rebooted. that fix the issue. But the system status check, that is a hardware level one. Okay, so that I'll talk tomorrow. But however, I got that issue, so I shown that. So if we stop the instance, still the AWS will charge for EBS. What did we started about EBS? Why you guys raise the question, the topics which we are going to discuss in our coming sessions? I'll talk about that in our day after tomorrow session. Yes, AWS is going to cost you. Okay, Prasanna. So is this instance also region level? Yes, you are launching this EC2 instance in Mumbai region. So it's a region specific resource only. Share Slack channel. Okay, this is like, I believe it's a, okay, let me go here, invite people to copy invite link. I'm going to share it for everyone. So make sure you join to this Feb 2021 here. Can we transfer data from one region to another region EC2? Yes, we can do that. That we will discuss in our coming sessions. So we do have an option whenever it is taking too long time to stop the instance, we can even stop it forcefully, force stop instance. We are nowhere near to that physical resources. So that's why we have this like, force stop and start options we have. So any other questions on this topic, guys? So when coming to this termination protection, for example, I done with my requirement, I want to terminate this EC2 instance. Terminate means delete. So you can select this instance. Whenever you go to instance state, here we have terminate option. Whenever you click on terminate instance, when you click on this terminate, see it is failing. So why? Because termination protection is on. If you accidentally click and you, for example, you try to select this hibernate option, but unnecessarily, accidentally you selected that and you haven't read this, click on that. So then your instance is gone. So to not get into that accidental clicks, so we are going to enable this termination protection. Once you're done with your requirement, whenever you really want to terminate, at that time you need to disable this termination protection. So then only you can terminate this EC2 instance via this option. So now my instance is in stopped state, right? So now I can go here, I can start the instance. So now instance is starting. It is in pending state, then it comes to starting state. So whenever it is in running state, then we can get connected to again. As we are just using start and stop option, whatever the data we have within that EC2 instance, that data is not going to lost. So now my EC2 instance is in running state. Click on connect, RDP client, get password, browse the key pair, decrypt the password. So navigate here. Okay, let me grab the public IP address of this EC2 instance. I'm taking MSTSC. Given the public IP address, click on connect, username, administrator, click on connect, RDP client, go and click on get password, browse the key pair, decrypt the password. Here is the password we got. So if you change the password, you don't need to browse this key pair always. Give yes. And here you observe, we are going to have all our data. So if we accidentally shut down the instance, can we restore it? Shutdown won't do anything. What shutdown will do? Shutdown won't do anything. You can just like, if you set this shutdown behavior as stop, yes, you can start it. No issues. But if you give here shutdown behavior as a terminate, then instance is going to delete. Then instance is going to delete. So in that case, you cannot. But of course, there also we have an option to get the data. That is our coming topic. So here you observe I have the image I have created. We have the wallpaper we have customized. So basically we have all our data, we have the settings we performed. So even if you perform stop and start, you are not going to lose any data. But whenever you terminate, so I done with my requirement, I want to terminate and it is not allowing. I want to disable the termination protection. So for that, navigate to actions, instance settings, change termination protection. At moment it is enable. So I done with my requirement. I really want to terminate this instance. So I can uncheck this. Termination protection is disabled. This instance is no longer protect against the accidental terminations. All right, let's click on save. So now this EC2 instance disable with the termination protection. I can go to instance state and terminate instance. Click on terminate and it is success. Now you can see it is going to shut down, then it is going to be, it changed status as a terminated. So once it got terminate, if you select, if you try to click on connect, it won't be enabled. So after terminating, you can find that instances here for some time. Later on, after 30 minutes, it's going to clear from the console. Okay, you don't find that under running instances. So that is what termination means. So for stopping EC2 instance, we are not going to get charged anything for the topics we discussed so far. If you are selecting 30 GB only, you are not going to get charged anything. So you can right. So see this instance is terminated now. All right. So for today, the task is launch an EC2 instance with Windows operating system. And once you launch an EC2 instance, connect to instance with the key pair given password. Connect to the instance with the key pair given password and change the password. Change the password. See how exactly you change your for Windows 10 operating system, right? And similarly change the password and sign out. Then try to log in with key pair given password and custom password you set some time back. So which one is going to work? Try that. That's the first thing. Task 2 is, so basically Windows instances supports 2 terminal licenses, 2 terminal connections at a time. So that means now we connected as administrator, right, to this EC2 instance. Similarly, at OS level, you can create another user and you can even work as that user also. So to test this, so I want you to, whenever you connect to this EC2 instance, along with administrator, create another user at OS level. You can give your name and all and provide local admin rights to this user. See, OS level, I'm asking you to. Okay, so provide local admin rights to this user and provide remote desktop permissions also to this user and keep administrator session active and try to take session remote desktop. Just go and give MSTSC, give the instance public IP address. So then it will ask what is the username and all. You need to give this newly created user and try to take a session as newly created OS user and test it whether both sessions are working or not. Right? So, okay. If I stop instance, will it cost? So it's for with okay. For today's session, it's not going to cost us anything. Just go with that. How many instances we can create at max? Is there any limit? That we will talk later? That means tomorrow we are going to talk about that. So this is our first instance. Just get familiar with the options. How to process data? All right, that also we will discuss in our coming session. So basically, these are the questions I got in our chat box, and these are the direct messages. All right. So any other questions before closing the session, guys? If you have any, please post in our Slack channel, and I'm going to upload this into our GitHub. All right. So spare some time and try to launch your EC2 instance and get familiar with the options. First couple of sessions only, we are going to take a lot of time to discuss about this instance launch options. After two sessions, like I'm going to launch an EC2 instance within 30 seconds. If you don't feel I'm going a bit fast there, so you must launch an EC2 instance and you must practice that. How to generate password using .pem on Mac. So in Mac also you have a browser. You're going to work on AWS within a browser only. Within that browser, you are going to have a connect option. Click on that connect option. You can browse your key pair, then you will get the password. Just try that. If it is not working, just drop a screenshot of your error in our Slack channel, then we will discuss that. All right, Manoj? All right, guys. So that's it for today's session. See you again tomorrow. Thank you.